He bragged about leaving you, and now he is shamelessly asking questions. There is this strange thing about people who live with pride. They often return with questions. He bragged when he was leaving you as though your absence from his life were some kind of victory. He spoke as though walking away from you had made him powerful, like abandoning what once mattered was proof that he had conquered something. He carried his departure like a trophy, expecting that the world would applaud him for having the courage to let go. But time has a way of exposing what pride tries to conceal. The one who once announced, "I left," may one day become the one asking, "What happened to you? Why are you not answering, replying me the way you used to do?" And when that day comes, understand this: his questions are not always signs of concern. Sometimes they are the echoes of a decision he thought he would never regret. He thought leaving you would make you chase him, that your heart would remain standing at the same door, waiting for footsteps that had already disappeared. He even thought that your memories would keep you imprisoned in yesterday. But he misunderstood the power of time. There are seasons in which God allows people to walk away because their departure is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your awakening. What feels like rejection can become separation from preservation. What feels like abandonment can become divine redirection. And while he was busy bragging about leaving, you were quietly becoming someone he could no longer recognize. That is why his questions sound strange now. He is asking about a chapter he deliberately closed. He is looking for access to a life he once treated as disposable. Now he wants explanations for changes he was not present to witness. But the prophecy of your silence is this: you will not return to the version of yourself that begged someone to stay. There comes a moment when a person who walked away realizes that the door did not remain open forever. There comes a morning when they look back and understand that what they called easy to leave was actually precious. There comes a season when pride becomes regret, and the person who thought they had escaped begins wondering whether they were the ones who lost. Let him ask and wonder, and even sit with the consequences of the choice he celebrated. Because not every question deserves an answer, and not every person who returns deserves access. Sometimes people come back not because they have changed. They come because they finally discovered that the grass was never greener on the other side. Sometimes they return because your absence became louder than your presence. And sometimes they ask questions because they cannot understand how someone they wounded found the strength to heal without them. Your assignment is not to make their regret comfortable. Your assignment is to keep walking. That same person who once said they could live without you may eventually discover that living without you was possible. But losing the version of you who loved them was irreversible. And that is the part they did not foresee. You were not meant to remain broken by their decision. You were meant to rise from it. You were meant to discover that your worth was never determined by who stayed, who left, or who returned. or who suddenly became curious. So when the one who bragged about leaving you begins shamelessly asking questions, do not be shaken by the noise of their curiosity. Remember the silence that came before it, the way they left, the confidence with which they bragged, with which they treated your heart as though it would always be available. And then remember who you became afterwards. Some doors close because they are not meant to be open again. Some people return only to witness what they lost. And some questions arrive far too late. The prophecy is not that he will return. The prophecy is that you will no longer need him to return. What once had the power to break you will eventually become the evidence that you survived. And when he looks for the person he left behind, he may discover something that will trouble him deeply. She is still here, but she is no longer waiting.